You know, if there's one single thing you can do to your four-wheel drive to make it perform better both on and off-road, it's got to be correctly adjusted tyre pressures. In my opinion, there is nothing else that even comes close to correct tyre pressures to make your four-wheel drive perform at its absolute peak. I'm Graham Cale from Australian Four-Wheel Drive Action, here today with an Isuzu D-Max to run you through tyre pressures, what you should be using on separate terrains and exactly why. First up, let's talk why you should adjust your tyre pressures. Put simply, the lower your tyre's pressure, the bigger footprint or area of contact with the ground that it's going to have. That means it spreads the load of the vehicle over a wider contact area, meaning your vehicle's more likely to ride across soft terrain rather than dig down into it. The other bonus with lowering your tyre pressures is that the tyre will now want to mould around terrain like rocks, ruts and tree roots, greatly increasing traction. Okay, that is perfect. Righto, now you know why we lower our tyre pressures. The big question is, just how low do you go? When it comes to high-speed gravel roads, look, 28 PSI, pretty good starting point. It'll smooth out corrugations, make for a much safer and more comfortable ride, and of course, minimise wheel spin. When it comes to sand, don't muck around. Drop straight down to 16 PSI, but if it's a stinking hot day and you're finding that sand is really soft, you might need to drop down in 2 PSI increments until you find that sweet spot in your four-wheel drive where you're just coasting over the top of the sand. Everybody's favourite, mud. Really good starting point there is 24 PSI. Look though, if the terrain is also rocky and there's some really low range stuff thrown in, you might want to start off at around 20 PSI. And if you're still wanting for traction, start dropping your tyre pressures again by 2 PSI increments until you find that sweet spot. In an emergency, and I'm talking a real emergency, four-wheel drive stuck, the tide's coming in, waves are crashing up against the side of the truck kind of emergency, it's okay to drop your tyre pressures quite dramatically. I'm talking single figures here, maybe 5 or 6 PSI. However, a couple of things you really do need to keep in mind, and the first of which is only use those pressures to get yourself out of danger. Do not continue driving and take sharp corners because you run the very real risk of rolling your tyre off the rim. And secondly, as soon as you're out of danger, pump your tyres back up to meet the conditions in which you're currently driving. Exact off-road tyre pressures are going to be different for each vehicle because of course you've got different loads that you're carrying, different type of tyres, and everybody's running different types of accessories. But these are pretty good marks to start with. What it really comes down to is experimenting with your four-wheel drive to find out what works the best for you. Most importantly though, I think anyway, is making sure you're carrying a quality air compressor so that you can pump your tyres back up to recommended blacktop pressures once you get on the highway. You know, in my opinion, there is nothing like correct tyre pressures to improve the comfort, the safety and the capability of your four-wheel drive. And that is what jumping behind the wheel of a four-wheel drive like the Isuzu D-Max is all about. For more four-wheel drive tips and to stay in touch with the Isuzu owner events, why don't you head across to the iVenture Club website at iventureclub.com.au.